Hey guys, welcome back to Bombay Pena. And on today's video, we have some very special guests with us for a very special trial that we are going to have in less than 40, about 72 hours, I say. We have Salil and Gaurav from the Liverpool supporters of Mumbai here with us. Hi Salil, hi Gaurav. It's really nice to have you guys here. So I just like to start off with the most important question that everyone has on our minds right now. How exactly excited are you guys with the tie?
Okay, Salil, go first.
I guess I don't think this tie really needs an introduction because two of Europe's most glamorous clubs are clashing once again. I think after whatever happened in 2018, there's a chance for revenge over here. So, of course, there's a lot of excitement. I mean, every Liverpool game brings excitement for Liverpool supporters, irrespective of how good or badly we are doing. I guess the game is something we all look forward to as supporters, and I don't think there's any bigger game in the world when Liverpool are facing probably the biggest club, Real Madrid. And there's so much of stake for both clubs this season, especially for the sort of season we're having.
Yeah.
The excitement is there, especially with the results that have gone off late in favor of both clubs. So it should be a tight game, and it should be a very interesting game. We are really looking forward to it. There's a lot of excitement.
Tuesday.
Yeah, talking
Nice.
about that revenge factor, Salil, you spoke about how Liverpool do have revenge on your mind. You think Liverpool has that, added reason or an onus to, go all in this game, and they have a point to prove basically against us after that final in 2018. So you think that would be a very massive advantage, that will to prove the team that you lost against, this time wrong and defeat them over both the legs.
Absolutely, and of course, there's news about Sergio Ramos who could possibly miss both legs. But I honestly wanted him to play against us because when he plays, of course, the only thing I want is I don't want any players to be injured, whether it's anyone. I mean, the
Of course,
rival fans or
nobody will
anyone.
be in this.
We don't. We want our best players to play. I wanted Van Dijk to be involved. I wanted Sergio Ramos to be involved. When you have your best players on both sides available, it makes the tie even more interesting and it makes it even more likable. Of
Yeah,
course, even irrespective whether Sergio Ramos is going to be available or not, the motivation is because Sergio Ramos is not Mr. Real Madrid. Real Madrid is Real Madrid, right? They're the
yeah,
biggest club for a reason. And after whatever happened in 2018, not just Salah, but I'm sure a lot of the team, the club itself would want to put one behind them and probably, get into this game, make a statement of intent over the two legs.
19 UCLs between us, right? Like that's a big number. I don't think anyone except Milan has would
yeah.
increase
This
that
is
number,
this
right?
is
It was
like peak
19 UCLs.
European royalty, if I say so.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
But a certain sheikh from a certain club would want to know your location.
There are two clubs currently. Which one
I,
are you
I, I
referring
let,
to?
well, let them keep guessing.
Good one. So, on both sides, I think we have very memorable matches, right? Like the La Decima one, or for your side, the Miracle of Istanbul, right? So, I would like to ask, in among the European nights, which one is your favorite? Like, surely you guys have been supporting since a long, long time, right? So,
You see,
which one is your favorite?
Gaurav, I
uh,
guess you take that.
okay, of course, like the most memorable night because it was a one game only. It has got to be the Istanbul final in our lives at least for 2005. I guess if you are not even a Liverpool supporter, just like an admirer of good football or a history buff, that is the game. That game is for all the romantics. No one can doubt that, and almost everyone can tell you that game has got something special about it. But again, the second one which might come close was the recent one against Barcelona after being 3-0 down at Camp Nou, where everyone thought Barcelona Twitter was kind of very confident of getting at one goal at least, then we'll have to score five.
They
But
were
then
not
Lord
The
Divock,
confident.
infamous
They
tweet.
were arrogant. They were not confident. They were
yeah, they were
arrogant.
arrogant. But then Lord Divock, with his quick thinking after like Trent's amazing quick corner, and the rest is history, as they say.
Liverpool 3-0. Corner taken quickly. Origi!
that final against Madrid, I think that was the moment where everything changed for Liverpool. That one game where we lost. I don't think had we won that game, then we would have dominated the next season like Liverpool did, because they came so close. Yeah, in fact, I don't think they would have driven Man City to those points in the championship. Losing it by 1 point the next season, winning the European Cup wouldn't have happened hadn't we lost to Real Madrid that particular season. So
What do you think about both teams going into the tie? We have kind of had similar trajectories as of now. We have reached the quarterfinals, but season plagued with injuries. We have something 50 injuries of late. Uh, I've not counted Liverpool, but significant big names in injury. Like at some point, a whole of your midfield was playing the centre back position, right?
This season has been a one-off. I mean, the injuries apart, I think this season, on a personal note as well, Alisson lost his father and Klopp
yeah,
lost his mother. Also made that emotionally a little more draining, and especially the amount of defeats that we've had back to back doesn't really help.
If any club has missed fans in the stadium, that should be Liverpool.
Absolutely.
Correct, because the atmosphere that Anfield creates. Because anyway, I think we were not going to be playing at the Bernabeu, right? We were anyway going to be playing at the Di Stefano Stadium till 2022 until renovation happens. But if other than that, if there is any club in European football that has missed fans, it must be Liverpool. So I think that's also a big factor, right? Uh,
Absolutely. See, if, as you said, that every club in fact misses supporters. Even Real Madrid, I'm sure, misses supporters. But if there's a club that has a special connection with its fans, and it actually adds up to their game, the Barcelona game, the Chelsea games that we spoke about, is a prime factor. I mean, the games against AS Roma, the European magical European nights under Anfield, it's called that for a reason, right? Because the atmosphere is so different from what most other clubs in the UK offer, apart from maybe Celtic.
yeah.
Celtic and Liverpool are the only two clubs that possibly have the best atmospheres in English football, British football.
foul on Salah. Do you think it was intentional?
100%. 100%.
Okay.
I have good reason to back it up.
I feel the foul was intentional, maybe not the outcome. The outcome was bad. Like, when he fell on his shoulder.
I just say that Sergio Ramos is the kind of devilish personality that every person would like to have on their team. Yeah, he does a lot of aji baji and this and that, but at the end of the day, who would not want to have such a decorated and like technically sound player defender on their team?
Had it not been for the Madrid game where Karius concussed or not, but he did manage to let in those two goals. Had it not been that, we would not have gone in for Alisson the way we did. And because of
Uh,
going for
I
Alisson,
think
and
you
we
have Barca fans and Barcelona to thank for that. They supplied you a lot of money for Philip Coutinho, and you went on to buy Alisson and Van Dijk. That was a missing
no,
pieces for
I wish,
Liverpool.
I
they,
wish,
they
I wish we can have sell 5 more Coutinhos to bankroll our success.
no, and so
Right.
that was it.
Circling back to this UCL tie, like y'all do have quite a few players injured like us. So who do you think would be what would be the most probable starting 11 for? Because to be really honest, I know a few key players are missing, but I'm still not sure. Who would be the main starters in their absence? So, Salih, what
So,
about you?
so with Liverpool, I don't think there's much to ponder because Klopp really, very rarely chops the team when it comes to the UCL. So Allison obviously will be starting in goal. Trent Alexander-Arnold has been a new beast after he was rejected by an idiot called Gareth Southgate, who thinks he's not good enough to start for England.
That
Okay.
is good.
Then
I know.
center back is obviously we are going to have Ozan Kabak and we are going to have Nat Phillips, who have done quite well given the circumstances when nobody expected them to. Andy Robertson definitely starts this game. Midfield is where we are all question marking what is going to be the midfield, but I think it's more or less sorted with Fabinho definitely has to start. Ex Real Madrid player as well.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Thiago, obviously the ex Barcelona player, comes in with this game, so there's added motivation for him as well. And Genie Wijnaldum, I think, will start this game
Yeah,
because
Wijnaldum would be leaving after this season, right?
more or less, yes, it looks
More or
likely that
less,
he's
yes.
leaving.
Yeah.
Because I would have thought of that Klopp could have played Curtis Jones, but he'll get over with the midfield that you guys have with Casemiro, Cruz, and Modric. He'll be just chasing shadows when these three are on the ball. So it makes sense when you have a workhorse like Gini Wijnaldum to press them or probably give them some legs in midfield with Thiago and Fabinho also doing the work.
Mhm.
And the front three could be Salah, Diogo Jota,
Diogo.
Sadio Mane.
Yeah.
Sadio Mane. He's been awful this season personally for my liking, but
Yeah.
he offers you that sort of work rate and he puts himself first for the team. So I think that is why Manish will also start in place of Firmino. This is what I feel the team would be.
Like, scoreline. What do you think about the scoreline?
Yeah.
So, my logical thing in diplomatic way would be to say that okay, it will be close one, but I've got a hunch that it will either be a whitewash or it will be a red wash, right? Like either of the teams would just go on and score like
That, th-
2 or 3 goals more than the other team over 180 minutes. So that's my prediction.
let's see. I just hope, based on just the form, I actually wanted Bobby to start ahead of Mane, but that is not going to happen. I just hope that it would be a Salah, Jota, and Bobby front three. Because Jota is the spark. Bobby can still. Bobby is Bobby. Even when he's having an off day, he is a
I
one.
absolutely love Firmino
Yeah.
because I think like he's one of the most underrated
Can
strikers
you can
ever.
you please repeat this loud and clear so that everyone hears you, please?
I just love Firmino, right?
There you go.
Because thing is like as much as I have watched, like if there is some like for like replacement for Benzema, like if Madrid force, I don't want them to do this, but if you're looking for a like for like replacement for Benzema, like a player who is underrated and kind of not very lethal, but amazing with the ball, makes spaces, makes the correct pass to his team, will do something magical and unlock the team defense. Firmino is the closest thing to Benzema that is in current football. Like the kind of, I call it 9.5. Like he's not a 9, he's not a 10, he's not a false 9. He's kind of something between a attacking mid and so I absolutely love Firmino. Like the kind of plays he makes for the way he links up with Salah and Mane. Uh, can't stress that enough. Like highly underrated player. Okay, I don't know. Like I've not been following him in this season, but as much as I've watched of him, love that player. So I'll come to a few rapid like quick short answer type questions to you guys.
Okay.
Before you do,
Okay.
let me
Yeah.
tell you something. The most dangerous player, if I feel, if we can manage over the two legs, we have a solid chance is Karim Benzema. Because
Yeah.
I don't think this gets spoken about enough because he's hitting Lewandowski levels for you all every season, but he doesn't get the due credit. Of course, when Ronaldo was there, his game went up, but the
Yeah.
focus was entirely on Ronaldo because he's a phenomenal player.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Benzema, right from his Lyon days, I had this discussion with Jitu as well the other day.
Yeah.
I
True.
absolutely love Benzema as a player because he's so much more than just a goal scorer, right? I don't think he gets enough credit. And I was seeing some of his, I think that goal against Atletico, where I think he dribbled past 2 or 3 players. Was
Yeah.
it
Right.
at the Vincente water Calderon or whatever?
Vincent Calderon. Yeah.
So I've seen that. I mean, Benzema is a world class player, and he's been the
Oh,
thorn in Liverpool's backside for the last 3 times we've played y'all. Whenever
yeah.
I guess last 3 games he scored against
You're
us
right.
in
Yeah.
the final as well as over the two legs when we played y'all in 2014.
Correct.
So Benzema obviously is a world class player. He doesn't really get enough credit. And this season he scored what 25 goals in all
Yeah.
competitions.
He's already at 24 right now. So he's just
Okay,
one.
that's phenomenal for somebody who's what 33, 34 now.
Yeah, he's 33. I mean, he's got like what 30 goals and assists in 32 games or something. So that
And
is
the
a
next top
really,
scorer for Real Madrid, I think, is Casemiro with 6 goals or 7 goals. I don't even think
yeah.
it is Asensio or Isco.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if we
Mm.
somehow manage to negate or contain a Karim Benzema because he's
Yeah.
phenomenal in the air, he's good with his feet. So he's so much more than just your regular average center forward, right? He's so much
Yeah.
more. He's a beast when he's physically well built. Somehow
And
over the
that,
two legs, if we can manage Benzema,
yeah.
I feel we have a solid chance of going through,
And
especially with the
that
form that Jota is in.
Yeah, and that will be a fascinating, matchup, especially Benzema. And that is one thing I am a little scared of, because he'll be up against Kabak and Nat Phillips, and it will be a right test for them, these two, Kabak and Nat Phillips, because Nat Phillips I really like as a player. Like, he's a no nonsense defender. He's old school. He's not like the one, all right, passing and uh, getting the ball to himself and trying to play out of the back sort of thing, which he is adapting to at Liverpool. But his basics are very good. So it will be nice to see whether he can cover the basics against one of the best players of his kind, which is Benzema.
In
Yeah.
fact, we haven't discussed formations. I was seeing
Yeah, that.
tweet. I was seeing a tweet. I think Manas had tweeted. You all were playing Ibar yesterday, right? Ibar or
Yeah,
Ibar?
yeah,
Right, 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 right.
I guess you all played a 3-4-2-1 formation.
yeah.
So
I'm
I was
expecting.
actually coming to that. The formation technical stuff was my next question. So yeah, not just yesterday. Last three matches we have been playing with five at the, like 3-5-2 formation, basically two wing
Right,
backs and
right,
three.
right. Marcelo can play
So
either way. So yeah.
so Marcelo was basically playing left wing yesterday because just
Anyway,
read
he plays left wing only. He's there.
correct. Just rid Marcelo of his defensive duties and just watch him play then.
Marcel's
If
barely
it,
played this season, no?
yeah,
Yeah, he's very rarely played.
because Mondi has been so solid at the left back, and Marcelo's form has dipped so quickly over the last two seasons that I would like none of the Madrid fans
I
would
think
complain. But
Mendy's rise was more of the reason than Marcelo. I thought he was injured, but Mendy has been phenomenal for Real Madrid this season.
he's been
Yeah.
very solid. Like he lacks that flair of Marcelo going forward at least. But I don't think he's shit at going like into the final third. He has been actually very good
A
at
Mendy
dribbling
who
past
can
players.
defend.
Yeah, good one.
For a
Yeah,
change, yes. I mean, one of the only few wins.
I know, I
there's,
know.
there's
I
like
hope
four
you know whom
Mendy's,
I'm
right?
talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Very particularly.
Player or position where you think the game would be won and the game would be lost. Like if you lose here. It can be position, it can be a player. Okay. So Salil, you go first. Uh, Something where the game would be won and some place or some player where the game would be lost for you.
Defensively, defensively,
Okay.
for either team, because we are both missing out on our first choice. Especially for Liverpool, we're losing out on our entire first choice centre backs. That is the only area of concern I feel, where I feel we're losing.
So is this for the win part or the lose part or both? Like
Lose both. I mean, if somehow if we don't concede goals against Real Madrid, chances of us, especially with the form that Jota and Salah are in, I could fancy us. But
okay, Gaurav.
For
that is
me,
where I feel we lose if
yeah,
we
for
if we
me,
don't
it
make it.
would be like, the midfield. I mean, midfield is going to be the key for us. I mean, up front, I mean, I have to be honest, it's only Karim Benzema. He doesn't really have much support among with his wingers. So I'm really banking on our midfield once again. It's Cruz, Casemiro, and Modric. It's like it's the formula that will always work. So I think that if we are going to win the game, that is where, and I'm counting heavily, very heavily on Modric, to be very honest. So Modric and Benzema to do the magic for us. And if we're going to lose it, I feel it would be specifically at the right wing, because we don't have a right back, and also the very few options at the center back, not really experienced choices. So it's going to be Militao and Vasquez at the back on the right hand side. So I think that would be a very big potential weakness. But then again, Militao has performed very well on many occasions. So I think still,
Personally,
but
I think Nacho will play instead of Militao.
yeah,
So that's what I wanted to say. Like because Nacho has been playing over the last three games.
yeah,
Except
but
that I think game would be much more lost at if we can't finish our chances against a team like Liverpool, and they have like Jota and Mane and
they
Salah
basically have
running
three
towards
times
us.
the firepower that we are going to have in that match. So it's like
Right,
they have three players who can score all together, and we
and we
have
have
just
just
one of
one
them. Yeah,
sure shot
exactly.
player who can score.
True.
Right,
No, I think Isco and Asensio are equally potent. It's just
Isco
that
Isco won't play.
Yeah,
Like
it's so
when you are
probably
playing Cruz, Casemiro, Modric, there's no room for Isco there.
Okay, tell me something. We didn't really discuss who's available for Real Madrid in this game. Something I guess you guys can tell.
Everyone except Ramos and Valverde, I guess.
So what happened to Valverde?
Valverde got injured in international break, I guess. Again.
As far as where we'll win or where the game would be won or lost, again, our defense, it is the inexperience. Now, it'll be interesting whether Klopp prefers, he knows that the best thing is Fabinho anchoring the midfield, or Fabinho or Jenny, or whoever of those two, and playing these two centre backs. But I don't know, against Madrid, maybe he'll have that in the back of his head that he might start Fabinho at centre back.
So my next question would be like one player that you would want from the opposite team. Salil can go first.
Rafael Varane. We need centre backs.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, currently, if you one player, what I would need from your team, maybe if it was not the age factor and in their prime, it would have to be Modric. Like, he's the one who goes. But we have that covered. Currently, yes, Varane, because we need defenders. Any team, like, bring all the defenders to us and we'll be all good. No problem. Rest of the field we are sorted. Current
What
team.
about you? Yeah. What?
Okay, so for me, if I would have to pick one, that would most probably be one of the wingers. It would be a Mane or Salah, but I'll go on and pick Salah. Because we really lack people at that right wing.
Itu has been after my life. You have no idea.
For Salah?
Every day for Salah.
Yeah, because we don't have anybody at the right wing for like about 3 seasons now, and that is a harrowing fact considering that we had Gareth Bale for 2 of those seasons with us.
Why didn't you all sell him before 2018? Yeah, I wish you all sold him before 2018.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he wouldn't have come on. He wouldn't have come on.
2008, not gonna lie, 2018 was going to be his last season in Madrid. I mean, Zidane had made it clear that it was actually Bale who was supposed to leave and not Ronaldo. But somehow something happened behind the scenes and it all got interchanged. And
I think Real Madrid lost the plot. I mean, who sells Ronaldo?
It was more about with Ronaldo wanting to leave rather than we wanting.
Rather than we selling him.
Consider this factor: if you all don't win the Champions League and only win the league, do you see
Zidane is not sacked. Zidane is not sacked. Zidane leaves. So he left last time. Even if we go trophyless, he'll leave, but he'll leave on his own terms. There will never be a news saying like, I hope not. But as far as I know Zidane and as far as I know Perez, there would never be a headline saying Zidane was sacked from Real Madrid. It will always be Zidane leaves Real Madrid.
Yeah, so what I mean to say is, I mean, considering for some reason that Real Madrid don't win trophies this season. For some reason.
Yeah.
What do you make of the Zidane situation? And because I'm talking with reference to the players that you are potentially planning to sign, Mbappe being one of them linked with you guys.
In case Zidane leaves and we are looking for a coach, maybe borrow Klopp, please.
I'll tell you something. No disrespect, obviously. Real Madrid is a club we have all grown up watching and we all loved in some of the other way because of the Galacticos and stuff like that. But there's no fun in when you have everything at your disposal. I say the same things to Chelsea and City fans as well. That when you have a sheik funding you or you have everything on a platter, it's no fun. Love stories or romantic stories come from the fact that when you have a Klopp in charge, when you struggle for it, when you build a team over the years, you overcome all the odds against teams that are already funded or successful via whatever sources. That is real football.
That is.
But as Marca said, this team wants more.
All the time.
All the time.
Don't be like the Chinese.
All the time, every time.
Yeah.
It has been like really fun interacting with a couple of supporters. We've just came in 2 days now, so it was really fun to have you guys here today. So thank you so much, Salil, and
thank you for having us. Thank you for having us, and I hope that we cross paths every year in some form. Hopefully, on a
Yeah.
final, which will
Yeah.
really be fitting for a final.
Hopefully
when two
not
great clubs-
Europa League.
Yeah.
Hopefully not Europa
Fingers
League.
crossed it won't be that. Fingers crossed.
where Ole might be at the wheel, and
But no, Liverpool
No,
might
my only
as
solace
well
is
qualify.
if we don't beat Real Madrid. My only solace is I hope we can finish in the UCL places. That's all I ask.
yeah, exactly.
No,
Same.
no, that's what I was saying. That I think Liverpool will qualify for UCL again. Like
See, there are
don't-
only two ways of finishing. Either we finish in the top four, which is very difficult because Chelsea and Leicester don't usually drop a lot of points. Yesterday was an off day for them.
Yeah.
They don't really drop a lot of points, and beating Real Madrid is no easy feat in the Champions League. And not just that, we have to beat the winner of the Chelsea and the Porto game, and then probably face the winner of whoever wins between Bayern, PSG,
Bayern,
PSG,
and Man
Man
City, who are
Man
probably the
City.
three best, most informed teams
Correct.
in Europe right now,
True,
Right.
true.
including
Okay.
Chelsea. If I have to add Chelsea as well. So
Yeah.
top four and this thing are equally difficult. Any one of them, ideally the latter would be even better, but at least one of them is needed.
True, true.
True.
So with this, we'll just wrap this video. So thank you so
Okay.
much. And
It's been great having you, Gaurav and Celine.
Yeah,
and
Hope we can have a
look forward to
follow-up,
the exciting
later.
game tomorrow.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Depending on our mood, after
Exactly.
that
It
is-
would. That's why I said I hope.
But of course, if not there, then I do hope that after the pandemic, we can all get together and
true,
have a pint,
definitely.
because
Yeah, for sure.
that
for
that
sure.
would
For
be
sure.
much brilliant. And it was amazing to speak to, of course, Salil, I know, but the both of you, Harsh and Gopal.
Gopal.
It was really nice. Thank you very much
Likewise.
for having us. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Harsh
Cheers.
and Gopal, for having us.
Thank you for
Looking
joining
forward
us.
to more.
Yeah.
All the
Thank
best.
you.
All the best.
You'll never
for
you'll
the
never
time.
walk alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll never walk alone.
That's
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
All the best for the tie. May the best team win.
yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Right. And
Yep.
hope you guys take care. Bye.
Yep.
You guys
Bye-bye,
too.
guys.
Stay safe. All right.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay safe.